We're here. We're live. Oh, and I'm blurry. And I'm back. Welcome to Blockchain Basement, the best daily streaming show on Twitch. We're going to have a really good show for you guys today. We're going to teach you how to time the Bitcoin markets.
There it is.
And get rich with crypto just like we all did. The reason we're here and we get to spend crypto or spend all of our time talking about crypto and being obsessed with it is because we understand the 4-year cycle. And you guys hear us talk about it a lot. I know a lot of you guys in the chat probably know about it. But I found a pretty good article that breaks it down in kind of a different way. I'm sure you guys have heard us describe it this way before on the main channel, but I know we've got some newer people out there in the Twitchverse and on the YouTubes and all that sort of stuff. So going to be a good show. We got some other fun stuff to talk about. I did pull a couple questions from the YouTube chat as well. But before we get into that, we have to introduce the studs of the hour and the ladies. We've got the one and only Crypto Sunglasses. Shout out to Crypto Sunglasses live on Twitter as well. We've got Prepper Crypto, Biscuit Jesus with a banana on his head, the beautiful Alley, all of you guys in the chat. We got Razmataz, Music Maven, Casino Doggy, Dude, what does mine say? Corey Harden, Covert T4s, Crypto Tony, Crimson Caravan Company, Mayamo, Ute, Lucifer, Casino Doggy. Shout out to all you guys. Doggy. I did forget to share this on Instagram, so that might affect our numbers a little bit. But
does anyone know this question about BitGet? Is anyone else involved in BitGet? Because we had this question.
What's the question?
Yesterday a couple times. What are the requirements for the $200 bonus on a $1,000 deposit into BitGet?
You had to be one of the first 100, I believe, people to sign up with the link. So you basically have to just follow the link and sign up underneath that link. Basically, open an account and to do a deposit. So if you do a deposit, I think we gave all the details. I think it was like if you deposit $200, you got 20, or if you deposit $1,000, you get more, or something like that. So it's just a deposit bonus, basically free money to trade with. You get one free trade, so something like that.
Well, only if you were one of the first 100 to sign up.
I believe so.
Okay.
So there might still be time, but go check it out. I know Frank had his own and we had our own, so you know there could be a couple hundred people that could sign up. So check out BitBoy Crypto affiliate link, which I don't have on me right now, or Frankie Candles. I'm sure you could go to any of the BitBoy Crypto videos or the Frankie Candle videos. The link will be in the description, and you can sign up through there. Also, if you want to sign up for a self-custody derivatives exchange, and again, derivatives guys trading, we talk about it a lot here. We are degens, so if you're new to Bitcoin, if you're new to crypto, if you never traded in your life, I wouldn't start with leverage trading. Start with just buying spot and accumulating. Now is the best time to be doing that. Maybe you got some profits, then you can start doing some leverage trading. Drew and I were talking about that just a few minutes ago in the kitchen. He's been starting with a very small amount and doubling and tripling and rolling it up, and it's fun when it's all profits. But you definitely don't want to be losing any of your accumulation stack while you're doing that. So with that being said, though,
wait. Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. With that being said,
go ahead and check out the link in the description for Apex.exchange. It's it's not a custodian. It's actually you self-custody all of your funds the entire time. It's no KYC.
Love that.
No custody. I think it's going to be and it's a decent product as far as the UI, UX, and the experience you get. The liquidity is strong. The team from Bybit is who's put it together. I see it being the future of leverage trading in general is going to be a lot more on decentralized exchanges. I think that's going to be a big theme in the next cycle, which again, you always hear me say the next cycle, this cycle, last cycle. That's what we're going to be focused our discussion on today.
I have a quick financial advice question for Nick.
Perfect.
Dude, what
for
does
crypto sunglasses?
Yes.
That's why I meant
the
to
only
say.
place you will get financial advice is here. Everything I say is financial advice.
From Dude, what does mine say? I'm currently up 90% on my sand. Should I dump until after the coin unlock up?
The coin unlock.
There's a coin unlock of 12% of the supply coming.
Yes. So I'm confirming the coin unlock. As far as what to do, if you're 90% profit, I'm just going to default to what Frankie Candle says. Take the profit.
Take some profit. Yeah. You don't have to take all of it. I mean, you can take half of it out.
Yeah. So the unlock is probably going to have not as much selling pressure as we're all expecting because sand is nowhere near its all-time high right now. So the people who got in, like the people who got their airdrop or whatever during the ICO, they're going to sell, but I think most people are going to hold on to it. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and real quick, we were actually talking about this a little bit on the morning stream. Deez and I, we can pull up sand on CoinMarketCap. And you guys hear us talk about tokenomics a lot, right? So you can see, well, I don't know if I'll have to zoom in and move over. So you can see, hopefully almost 50% of the supply is circulating right now. So this unlock will put us at 62%. And obviously that's going to put, there are people that get in early. There's VC money. There's private sale equity investors that are going to have a lot of these tokens. And they're most likely, they sell when these token unlocks happen or when these distributions happen, because they're not just unlocked like, oh, hey, they're available for anybody. They're going to early investors. A lot of times that does create selling pressure. But to Nick's point, you look at this chart here. This is sand from its all-time high, and there it is. You can see, obviously, there's tons of room to move up there. Now, it's had a strong pump. To your point, if you're well in the profit, you could take some of that profits, wait for the token unlock to happen, and re-enter. They're making big moves, big partnerships. I think DZ mentioned an Apple partnership. That's not just going to go away.
That's actually incorrect. That's with Mana.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mana. That's what I thought. And then we know Avalanche and Amazon have been doing some stuff. So it looks like they're kind of showing their cards, in the sense that we know gaming is going to be a part of, blockchain gaming is definitely going to be a part of the future, part of the next cycle, most likely. That's a niche people are looking at, just like AI, just like I was talking about decentralized exchanges or DEXs. Some of those kind of tokens could perform very well when the time comes, when Bitcoin's pumping, when everything else is generally moving up. Those could be some of your overperformers. And that's a lot of times what you're looking for when you're in altcoins. You don't want to be looking at the dollar amount. You want to be looking at it against Bitcoin. You want to look at, what do I think is going to outperform Bitcoin? Because if you're doing all this work and doing all this digging, you're not outperforming Bitcoin. That's like not, in my opinion, I look at Bitcoin within crypto as kind of like the S&P or if you're doing all this deep trading, but you could have just bought this big index and done well anyway, then, what are you really doing? So,
Casino Doggy, you're wrong. Do not take profits and buy XRP. That's a foolish. This is financial advice. Do not do that.
You're not going to get a lot of XRP fans probably in this basement. I mean, I know there
Me
are.
and Drew hold XRP.
We're going to have a lot of XRP holders in here.
Yeah, it's not about.
I own some XRP out of hate.
Yeah, he hate holds XRP.
Hate holds.
I don't hold any XRP.
Hate
I
hodl.
just see XRP as a situation that's going to happen regardless of what us in the retail space want, or we can say all these things, we can fight against it, but these systems are still in control. And, I really see too much overlap between XRP and its past executives and interns into central banks and vice versa. Look at the bottom of your $100 bill. There's a name Rosie Rios, which is on the board of XRP. It's already cooked in.
Yep.
So, I've held it for years. I've researched the heck out of it. I know more than most XRP Army people, but I understand their mindset of, the idea that $1,000 XRP is going to exist. But if that happens, bread is going to cost $10,000.
Yes.
So, just keep that in mind when you're talking about these extreme price valuations for XRP. It's not going to do what, those clickbaits are saying. So.
Address for the Apex exchange. I should be in the link in the description when it comes out on YouTube. I think it's in all of the YouTube videos. So if you check that link out, and I realize I think it's in there. I spelled Apex when I put it in the description, like the Apex the game, not Apex the exchange. So there is only one P like you did, but
Manly's up in the tree stand listening to us.
And again, I wouldn't. Nice. I'm not saying go run out and buy the token or anything, because it is definitely. Oh, hey, look, it's up 20%. Look at that.
My XRP's doing just fine on my refill on bags. So.
I haven't looked at this in a while.
Wait, XRP can go to $1,000.
Don't start with that, BJ.
Yeah, the market cap only has to be $50 trillion.
Yeah, only $50 trillion. Only $50 trillion.
Yeah, that's like that video that Richard Hart said. He's like, well, I kind of entertain the idea of Hex being $1. And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, but then that would be like more money than the entire world. But is that really impossible? I'm like, my God.
Yeah. And so this is crazy. I haven't looked at the Apex token in a while. When we gave our deep picks not too long ago, Apex was mine. And again, it's because I'm bullish on decentralized exchanges, because of the pain everybody went through with all of these custody platforms going insolvent. Obviously, you don't have to worry about that if you control your own funds. So I was just curious, and I'm not saying go out and buy this. It's like number 2,700 on CoinMarketCap. So there's very, very low.
29.85.
Ooh, 29.
Well, yeah, 20. Oh, almost 3,000. Yeah, it's on almost. Wow, it's on 2,700 watch lists. That's interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, and then look at this. That's not a bad week.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's not, it's doing a little something. So okay, I might
9
What's the
$0.2 million market cap.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's tiny. It's tiny. So again,
Yeah.
this is not for if you're new here. This is not for you. But if you're a DGen like most of us in the basement, there's some winners out there no matter
Yeah.
what phase of the market you're in.
for sure.
And that's again what we're going to talk about right now. Why
Not
some of-
financial advice.
Yeah, not financial advice. Only Nick gives financial advice.
Only me.
Basement, all we do is we talk about our DGen plays among friends, and we try to change our lives. And so good so far.
I'm
So-
a coincidence analyst. Okay.
Okay, coincidence analyst.
Yeah.
That also known as a conspiracy theorist. Is that
Yeah, well,
like a,
it's
You
more,
mean advanced news?
yeah,
yeah,
advanced news? That's a
it's
good
just-
one. Yeah, that's my favorite joke.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes is what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the news?
About
6 months.
There you go. And so we are among
amazing.
friends here. So
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So shout out to all of you guys. Let's see what coin is suggested to get as high as. Well, you're asking the wrong question there. As high as BTC is now, I understand cap. Okay, you do understand cap and supply go into it, but do people ever think BTC would hit 60K without worrying about heavy inflation? I'm not sure I understand that question. No, they thought it was going to hit 60K because the reason Bitcoin exists is because people were worried about inflation.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think what they're saying is like how we were trolling, saying XRP may or may
Right.
not hit $1,000, and the only way that would happen is if inflation was so bad. But yes,
Correct.
Bitcoin is very capable of hitting $60,000 with the current levels of inflation.
With
Sure.
with the money that's in the system right now.
Yes.
Yes, and there is a world where the dollar becomes virtually worthless, like we've seen in
Holy
other
crap.
currencies in other countries. But what, you got some people in there?
Well, welcome to the 300 people in my
Hey,
Hey,
crypto sunglasses is having a good.
It
good
was at
stream
like
there.
it was at 2 and then 5 and then I look over and it's 300.
That's because you got me in.
That's true.
That's because you have me in the back.
Can you ask him to join on Twitch? Because on Twitch, right now we only have 111.
Yeah, if you guys-
simulcast this. Go on
Yeah.
Twitch. Don't close this.
Yeah.
But simulcast this on Twitch. Give us some love on Twitch.
Yes.
You can chat with us there. That's the chat we're reading. But don't close TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I need clout too, damn it. Bobby Crypto saying render token. Look, my people.
Render's crushing.
I've been
it.
talking about threshold and render for about 3 months now.
Yeah.
Okay. I was buying render token when it was 10 cents.
Yeah, that was your deep pick, right?
That was a deep pick. Threshold pumped 250%. And
look at
I was buying it when it was 2 cents. So-
Mammal Lucifer, what coin are you talking about with 9 million market cap? I think that was Apex.
It was Apex.
Yeah.
The Apex token.
Mhm.
The one I had it up there on the.
Yeah,
It's
Apex is
Apex
great.
Protocol is what it's
Apex
called.
Protocol.
And again, guys, be very careful with all these things when you go to access them. Do not Google. You need to grab the contract. If you don't know how to get the contract address from CoinMarketCap when you're using MetaMask or Uniswap or any of those kind of things, then this is not for you. I do think you can only be purchased on Bybit. Yeah. Now you can transfer it off.
Only on
and-
Bybit. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. So, or on
Interesting.
Apex, I'm sure. But that's the only one listed there. So
Okay.
just be careful with it again. And I want to come back. Oh, we're going the other way. Render token. I had it up, but
Render.
I mean,
Yep.
it's been crushing it. Somebody else.
Yeah. Nakudo, we'll get to mining sometime. But yeah.
Yeah,
Lot-
Nick's here. We'll just say. No, I forgot it. What's the one you mine all the proof of work and proof of stake?
Neoxa.
No. The other one.
Ergo.
The JP Morgan's involved with it.
Kadena.
Kadena.
I
yeah.
don't mind that. But
You don't mind it anymore? You were a big Kadena fan for a while.
well, yeah, but I can't afford the miners, but
You're
they're
mining
great.
Pi.
I'm mining Pi.
Easy.
That's kind of yeah, but
Okay.
yeah,
That's
there's
more location or like social mining, I guess. You
yeah,
would say.
there's a lot of cool mining. You did the story about the guy with the USB miners that solved the block.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
it's
amazing.
It's amazing.
Okay. We gotta move through these
Okay,
cycles
sorry.
because
Okay.
it's very easy for us to get sidetracked. But
Sorry.
shout out to everybody. If you do want to be joining us live and get in this live chat here, we will answer all your questions. Twitch.tv/BitBoy_crypto. We love it. We started the show from the basement for the basement. So that's where you got to go to get the chats. There is a potential we will be starting to simulcast this in February. So onto YouTube and some of the other places as well.
tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, not literally tomorrow, but I'm gonna email that guy today because I talked to him on Friday. I haven't heard back from him yet. So
All right, let's get it.
Wait,
let's
you
get
have
it.
a guy now?
He's got
yeah,
it.
I got a guy at Twitch.
Hell yeah. Is his name Bear?
His name's Nick, actually, believe it or
Oh.
not.
I don't
Another
think-
Nick. There's Nicks everywhere.
Is it Dr. Disrespect? Boom. That's some Twitch humor there.
Terrible.
Okay, let's go. The 4 phases of the crypto cycle.
Yes.
Hold
We
on,
all-
hold on. Should I do this right?
You should. Look at that. The 4 phases of the crypto cycle. This is something I saw the other night, and I was just like, you know what? It seems a little basic, but I think sometimes explaining complex things in a simple way is kind of the art of really understanding something and helping other people understand it. So market cycles is a broad term referring to trends and patterns that appear during different markets. You know, we show a lot of the times the market psychology stuff. I know it's something Kelly brings up a lot of times. There's certain ones you've seen when it comes to traditional markets, but Bitcoin specifically, or the crypto market specifically, follows a 4-year cycle, 4-phase cycle, and it's all due to the Bitcoin halvings, and you know it kind of kicks everything off. This can happen because of macroeconomic events or the influence in the market. So that event for us would be, like I said, the halving. We'll skip the TLDR because we're actually going to read this. Market cycles is broad term, blah blah. Okay, maybe we're not. So here it is. Here are the 4 phases of the crypto market. Generally speaking, you've got the accumulation phase, the markup, distribution, and markdown, and we will read through the different phases. This is the halving right here. This between the accumulation and the markup is when the Bitcoin halving occurs. And so towards the end of the accumulation phase, you do still see it moving up towards previous all-time highs. And this is when, if you're active on Twitter or socials, and everybody's like, the halving's priced in, the halving's priced in, you know, like, the halving isn't going to have the same effect that it's had in the past because everybody knows it's coming and everybody's front running it. And this is, and they are front running it a little bit. And then the halving happens and everybody cheers, and like if you're doing a halving party, everybody watches, the block ticks over, yay, the halving, and then like nothing happens. and then actually the price starts going down. It's almost like if you guys are new here, you haven't been in as long, you probably remember the Ethereum merge, right? The ETH2 merge, same type of thing. Everything was happening, everybody was excited. The big merge happens, and then it's kind of like,
and then you got a hangover.
Okay. Yeah, it's over. You know, and the price actually pulled back after that. It was a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event, just like happens a lot of times in crypto. But what happens in the time after that? Again, the tokenomics start to kick in, the supply and demand starts to kick in, and then you get into this markup phase, which is when the real fun happens. You know, distribution, which is when some profit taking happens, and then markdown, which is what we just went through in 2022. So I'll spin through these a little bit, and if anybody has anything they want to jump in with, or any thoughts or takes while I'm going through it, just feel free to hop right in, because I may not call on you necessarily. So accumulation phase, and I kind of just gave the whole thing quickly, but again, this is worth understanding, because if you understand this one concept, this is how you make money in crypto. This is how you change your future. This is how you get wealthy. This is how you time the markets, and it's not that complicated. If you don't overcomplicate it and you keep it simple, it's a very easy way to get wealthy within the next. And the beautiful part is you're in the best phase right now, which is the accumulation phase. And you keep hearing us talk about it. That's why I keep saying, like, look, don't freak out. Doesn't matter if you got into 17 or 20 or 25 or 22 or whatever. You're in the accumulation phase. You should be accumulating right now. You should be stacking, and don't worry about the small moves here and there. Like if you're day trading, totally different thing. If you're, leverage trading, obviously it's totally different discussion, but we're talking about investing. And again, I think that came up yesterday when we said there's a totally different mindset between investing and trading. So accumulation phase happens at the beginning of every cycle. This happens when sellers have left the market and prices are seen to be stabilizing. So again, you hear us talk about capitulation. You hear us talk about the miners capitulating. You hear us talk about forced selling. When that happens, when all the sellers have been pushed out of the market and we're starting to see things stabilize, which is what we just have been going through, at this stage of the market, volume is often lower than usual because investors are not very optimistic about the market. That's exactly what we've seen in the last several months. Volume fell to the lowest it had been in years. It's up just a little bit now, but it's still substantially lower than it was even 4 months ago. Because investors are not very optimistic about the market due to the lack of discernible trends, assets tend to move in a narrow spread. So you've heard me talk about us ranging in a very tight range. You've heard me talk about a slow grind up. You've heard me say it's going to be very boring. And that's because it's a lack of a discernible trend. People don't, it's getting a lot harder to predict right now. Are we going to get a dramatic pullback? Is nothing going to happen on this FOMC meeting? Are we going to pump off of this FOMC meeting? Like,
I hate it.
And nobody really knows. And if it does, it's not going to be huge one direction or the other. Like a pullback from 24 to 22, that's not a lot of volatility when you're talking about Bitcoin, and that's what we've seen towards the end of last year, the beginning of this year. Extremely tight range, one quick move, and then range. And I think we're going to continue to see that because that's part of the accumulation phase. This phase is dominated by fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which leads to
Yay.
players not taking much action, resulting in low price volatility and trading
Yay.
volumes. What's happening right now? Volume is low. People like these products. They were interested in it at 50K, but now they're scared. They're scared it's going to go lower. All their friends are telling them it's crazy. They've lost money. It's a scam. And so what does it do? It paralyzes you. It holds you in place, and people aren't taking action. Accumulation phase, often called the consolidation, typically happens after a bear market. Duh. Though the price of the asset may seem to have stopped going down, and this is what kills me, and it seems so obvious if you've been through this. Though the price of an asset may seem to have stopped going down, investors still may be hesitant to buy it this time. But investors who want to keep their positions for a long time may see the accumulation period as the start of a bullish market condition that is about to happen. And that's exactly us. This is exactly what we preach to you day in and day out. And we're sitting here saying, again, the prices have stopped going down. Hey guys, FTX, the biggest collapse we've ever had less of a market impact than the two ones before it that were less substantial when it came to the way it impacts the industry.
Was that the biggest or Mt. Gox?
It was
Legit
Mt.
question.
Gox is the biggest in relation to the size of the market at the time, because it was basically 90% of all Bitcoin. Almost all Bitcoin was being traded on Mt. Gox. The only other thing was pretty much peer-to-peer, local Bitcoins. Or
Monetarily, FTX was much bigger.
Yeah, when you're talking billion, because the price of Bitcoin obviously is much higher now than it was back then. But I would say when it comes to market impact, Mt. Gox would be, it was all Bitcoin trading pretty much at the time.
Thick.
Right. Well, but it's the same. But it's the same concept. That's a great example if you think about it. Back then, now obviously there was a lot more risk than there is now, which is why to me this is such a slam dunk investment. If back then people that loved Bitcoin and then all of a sudden it dropped dramatically because there was all this fear that there's no way to buy it, so it's going to zero. That was probably the closest time it really could have ended. Mt. Gox could have ended Bitcoin because of. That was the opportunity other people had to come in and try to squash it from a government standpoint. They didn't. They still laughed, and it was one of those, first they laugh at you, then they fight you, then they join you sort of thing. And we're basically in the then they join you phase right now because we're getting past the fight you phase. Visiting from YouTube, the basement seems just fine.
That's
Love
right,
it,
baby.
Love it.
Welcome.
It's
Marshmore.
C. Marshmore. See, I never know when to say just the letter and when to actually read it. So I appreciate you guys helping me with that. You can see the confusion on my face. I'm not a reader. No, just kidding. For long-term holders, accumulation phase or consolidation phase is a great time to accumulate purchase crypto that you've been wanting to buy. That's us. You seeing price go down? Hey, you're getting entry on Render. Hey, you're getting entry on Sand. Hey, you're getting entry on Optimism, Arbitrum. Some of these things are I've been wanting these things. Now's the best time to buy it. They're way lower than they were at one point. So, again, not financial advice, but we're all buying right now. So,
Yep.
I'm doing everything I can. Yeah.
And the whales are buying right now. Institutions made up 85% of the Bitcoin volume over the past 60 or 90 days. So look, folks, if you're out there right now and you're literally buying a new car and are getting saddled with a new car payment and you're paying, 11% interest on your Honda Accord or whatever, then you deserve to be poor. Just straight up, unless you're objectively wealthy, you're well into the seven figures or in the very, very high six figs. And if you're saddling yourself if you're paying money to pay money on a depreciating asset like a car. I just saw a friend of mine bought a brand new Honda CRV, top of the line, and they are expensive. It's $40,000 for a Honda CRV.
Yeah,
and they are paying at least 8%
Guys,
interest
just
on
wait
that.
until Carvana goes out of business.
Swear
and then
to
sweep
God,
the floor,
come on.
Okay, Carvana, in my opinion, will be done in
so
2 years.
The whales, the poor plebes who are stupid, are buying assets that are depreciating at a very high interest rate, whereas the whales are doing what? They're buying assets that appreciate right now.
Yep, they're buying when there's blood in the streets. And again, we talk about all the time. They're the ones creating a lot of the fear out there. They're the ones telling you, save, save, save. Recession's coming. You're not going to be able to afford to live. You're not going to be able to afford your family. Food's going up. Everything's going up. Fear, 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 fear. Freeze. Let us get our positions.
Exactly.
Then we'll feed you all the information like buy, 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 buy. Pump our bags. Then we'll dump on your head, and then the cycle starts over.
They have a delay in having to report what they're buying right now. It's not
at least 30
out.
days.
A lot of them do it quarterly.
Right.
Yeah.
You have 3 months until you're even going to hear how deep into this BlackRock and the rest of these players are right now. And it's happening behind retail's back.
The big market players are a giant Cleveland steamer, and are you underneath them when they unload?
And for the most part, retail
For the
is.
most part, you are. If you're here in the basement, you're not.
Well, and on that point, you're absolutely right. I actually wanted to brag on our basement viewers a little bit. If you guys don't follow the Instagram, this is actually on the Hit Network Instagram. So follow Blockchain Basement on Instagram, follow Hit Network. But I did a little poll because we were talking about these car payments the other day. Yeah. Almost 40% of our audience has $0 car payment.
That's amazing.
Which is obviously not close to the average. Yeah, 30% is in the $200 to $500 range, and then and then the rest 5 to 8. There's a few 800 plus, but generally speaking, like the story we covered said, it was an average of an $800 payment right now in the U.S., which is just boggles my mind. That's amazing. The fact that most of our people have no car payment, a lot of them low car payment, so just don't
suck it, Dave Ramsey.
And if you need a car, you got a long distance to go to work, don't go buy a brand new car, or
for God's sake, you better buy a beater.
Yeah, just buy a beater.
Government auction,
man.
Ford Crown Victoria.com.
Or buy a rare Beamer that already went up in price, even though I doubled the mileage.
There you go.
Or buy a Ford Bronco 2 years ago and then sell it for profit.
Yeah. There you
or
go.
An FJ,
Yeah, buy things that
it's a stable coin.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say, I mean, I did get a couple of comments when I was roasting people for this about like, it's for the safety of my family, that sort of stuff. And I can listen to that. Generally speaking, though, you don't have to go that high. Like kind of to Nick's point, you don't have to go buy brand new. You don't have to buy something that's 2 years old. You can get safe vehicles. Yeah. And that's there it is, Scott. I'll be paying for it'd be paying my wife's car off this year, and then my truck next year. Had to get them for the business. Yeah, I mean, there's reasons to have car payments sometimes. I've never really had one. It's just something I've been, I had one, same thing for a car for a very short amount of time, and it killed me to do it. So now let's talk about what's coming. So the accumulation phase is where we are. The markup phase is when the real fun starts.
Baby.
The markup phase, also known as the bull market period, is characterized by rapid price increase because the influx of new buyers and sellers and trading volume during these periods tends to rise sharply. And like I said, this is kicked off by the halving, and it happens right here. Generally speaking, this is when, and again, you can see just by looking at this, and this is kind of what Ben and I have talked about on the morning stream a lot. Technically, this is the beginning of the bull market. It doesn't feel like it because you're in such a small range and there's not a lot of activity and there is a lot of uncertainty out there. But if 15.8, 15.5 was the bottom, and we move up from 15.5 to 28 in this time period, that's a pretty good trend upwards. Yep. But the real bull market is in the markup phase. So this is what happened in, 17 was the markup phase. 2021 is the markup phase. We're looking at 2025, the halvings we call it a 4-year cycle. It's really more like a 3-year, 10-month cycle. Because it's on the timing of the blocks. The blocks are approximately every 15 minutes. You get a short one and a long one every once in a while. But, I think it's slotted for May. Is that correct? Do we know?
December.
April?
I think
it's
December 25?
It's like between April and May of 2024.
Oh, you're talking the halving.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, April.
What are you talking about? The all-time high?
I'm talking about the all-time high target that I have in mind just on the time frames.
If the hash rate continues at this rate, we will probably hit March.
Okay.
Yeah, it's estimated right now, March 28th, 2024. Yeah. So 421 days from now. Hey, tomorrow, 420 days until the halving. That's going to be, start the countdown. And yeah, to Nick's point, obviously the difficulty adjustment does affect it somewhat, but then, if the difficulty is going up, that means the hash rate's going up, which means generally the blocks are getting solved, again, in approximately that same time range.
Yeah.
So that is when the markup phase is when things get really fun. Though the increase in volume might signal a hopeful and positive sentiment, investors might still be wary. And this is, again, where it takes people too long to take action. They've been paralyzed for so long. A lot of people out there, if you're one of those people out there that, well, if you're watching this, you probably aren't. But if you have a friend out there, send them this video. If they've written it off, if they said, you know what, I don't want to think about crypto anymore. I got wrecked. I'm moving on. It's a scam. It's out of my mind. This is when they start coming back around as this markup phase happens, but they're still like, man, I don't know. Which is just, I just don't understand it.
There's a lot to place into it. Like last time, the 100K target took over everything on that vertical wall when we were at like 50 running up to 60.
Yeah.
Basically every influencer that I was involved with or talking to or all had targets on 100K. And I feel like in this next process, that same thing is going to happen, but it's going to be instead of 100K, it's going to be $1 million. And you're going to have to hold till $1 million and you'll get a lot of retail involved.
You think it's going not this next cycle?
No, the narrative,
I see.
the moon math is going to go. It's going to take over YouTube again, and there's going to be a lot of people that are moving into it when it's at 80 or 90. And
2024, our old pal's going to say, "Oh, we're going to 700K," and then everyone's going to FOMO in at 99.
Yeah,
and they said cool shirt. BTC is greater than USD.
Yes.
Fun fact: I designed that shirt. I think you can get it on Hit Merch. That's one of my favorite shirts too. I'm biased though. I made that shirt. That's a Young Dumb Crypto original actually
nice.
back in the day.
I've
got one that has Young Dumb Crypto on the back.
Do you?
Oh, man.
Yeah, somewhere.
918 rep. Are y'all planning on a major pullback later this year, or BS on the recession, or even if there is, the bottom won't be breached?
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to get a lower low. I do think we will. My prediction for this year is we range generally between 20 and 28. One breakout pushing into the mid 30s up towards 40, and that could be during that period. That's when I think we could see a big pullback. If we go all the way up to say 35, 38, anything close, anything above 35, pulling all the way back down into the mid to low 20s, that's going to be a dramatic pullback. That could be in line with the traditional markets doing something, some other fear, and it could be what starts the reaction of, a pivot from the Fed and that sort of stuff. So
there's more coming too on the positive side. Like on May 11th, this Emergency Act is going to be rescinded. So
tell me about that.
The Flu Season Emergency Act is going to be fully rescinded from our federal government on May 11th.
Which means what?
Which means that no more emergency funds are being paid out, but then also gives a signal to commerce and manufacturing and tourism that the floodgates are now willing to be opened again. There's a lot of pent up money on the sidelines that people that haven't taken trips out of the fear, the mainstream media is going to be washing away and wiping that fear away before these election cycles happen. And May 11th is going to be a White House move to do so and begin that process. Might get
interesting, which is very much in line with the Fed meetings, which is very much in line with some of the predictions from Burry and some of the big market analysts that think they're going to be back to stimulating. Go ahead.
So I've been doing some math here, just like narrative math on the macro. And I think the only thing we've seen here, this rally with stocks and then crypto as well, is simply China opening back up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so I think crypto is going to be remarkably resilient because there is no money pump on right now. Like we're more dislocated from the market than we kind of ever have. Like the Dixie will move and Bitcoin doesn't really move anymore now, which is a very interesting and not normal way that things worked. So we've hit the bottom for what the economy actually should be because China's open again now. Yeah. This is where we should have been the whole time. Right. But the economy in the United States is still going to leg down, and there's going to be pain in the future when there was 250,000 job cuts in January. That's going to continue.
I think the tech,
and it's going to snowball.
I think it's going to be more white collar based though. The blue collar,
even worse. They're the people that spend the most money.
That is true.
That's true.
And it's going to be interesting to see where the new money generation is going to come from. I think we're going to see a lot of cuts. I think we're going to see a very high unemployment, but we're going to be seeing good earnings from these tech companies because they're going to be becoming a lot more efficient. There's been a lot of bloat there for a while that they could have afforded to use. Yep. We know, OpenAI is definitely causing a movement within the tech industry. They're obviously the early adopters on this kind of stuff anyway, so it's going to be really fascinating for me to watch how all that plays out. I love Multi-Sig Dummy says, where the F you find this guy? Bringing the truth. Fun story. We found him deep in a basement monitoring power grids in a super secret government facility that he had to have clearance for. So,
that's where
he's no dummy. Nick found him too, so shout out to Nick.
If you want any eggs, it's going to cost you 15 XRP.
Yeah.
So. He's selling eggs for XRP. Okay, that means he's not totally out on XRP.
That's like negative money.
Yeah, you're trading eggs for a depreciating asset.
Yeah.
Hey.
Question. Sorry, go ahead, Drew.
No, I just, I understand why we want it to depreciate, but you don't drag logic into this.
Yeah, I mean, it will. Look, once the SEC stuff settles, we know, again, we talk about this a lot, markets like knowns more than unknowns. Once that big anchor isn't hanging over their head, there is plenty of room for XRP to move up. It's just not one that gets me excited. I'll just be honest.
A question from Hard Fork Crypto. Will we see lower lows for alts, or should I keep accumulating at these higher prices above my current entry?
These are not high prices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they're
easy
above
on
your, so the answer is yes, we will see lower lows on a lot of alts. You know, which alt obviously depends. You know, if you're talking Matic or Ethereum, you know, that's a different question than if you're talking about something number 300, you know, if you're talking about, I don't know. I was looking deep on CoinMarketCap last night. I can't think of anything, you know, Serum token. Yeah. You're probably going to see some lower lows.
Yeah.
But you don't think
FTT?
so for Bitcoin, but you think so for alts?
Some alts, yes. Because here's what happens in this accumulation phase of the cycle. Here's what happens. You see it trades in this tight little range right here. When Bitcoin makes this little move up, altcoins kind of match it. When it corrects 2%, altcoins might, and this is why I was saying you have to separate. Not all altcoins. It's hard to lump them all together. But generally speaking, Bitcoin moves up 5%, altcoins move up, say, 7%. Bitcoin pulls back 2%, altcoins drop 12%.
Right.
You know, and that's what happens a lot during this accumulation phase because smart money is cutting ties on bad things and they're accumulating things that they think are really going to mark up. Now, not to say that altcoins won't still benefit from this markup phase, but it may not be the same. And that's why I'm saying always look at your stack in Bitcoin terms versus dollar terms so you know if you're trading yourself down in Bitcoin standards, it's not going to do yourself well in the future. So, but yes, I do think now is a good time to accumulate both Bitcoin and altcoins, but be looking for pullbacks. That's what I was doing last night. I was looking for things that are performing differently in the market, things that, you know, like Nick mentioned, render token, or I wish I could remember the one I was literally looking at one last night that was deep on CoinMarketCap, like not deep, like 200 something, that I was familiar with. And I was like, oh, wow, this pumped 40% on while everything else pulled back.
Yeah.
Let me look at it. Oh, this pumped 7% when everything else is down, and it's not necessarily down for the week. It's up on the 24 hours. So what is happening when you see that? It means as money's flowing out of all of these other tokens and projects, they're flowing into this one. Why? And then you start to dig and question. So again, we know the rendering stuff, basically storage on the blockchain is becoming a thing. It needs to be for the metaverse to get where it needs to go. Metaverse projects, again, I think a long way off, but interesting to look at. You know, things that are surviving from the previous cycles and still developing and building strong. Alluvium was one I was looking at. Again, huge long shot. I'm not saying I'm buying it. I wouldn't probably recommend you to buy it right now. And this would be exactly like one of those ones where it's like Bitcoin dumps, Alluvium could pull back even more, but a lot of money is going into it. Earlier on the stream, I do appreciate, I was going to call this out. Now I can't remember the name, but somebody puts in there the daily GitHub activity every single day, which they always like. DZ always likes to say, "Oh, that can be gamed." Yeah, it can be. But that doesn't mean it always is. Right. And so, looking at what's being active with the developers, I think the list was obviously Ethereum, Matic, Dot, Decentraland. I think Flow was on there today. He usually gives us the top 5, top 10. You know, and so like, okay, you know, this stuff is being built on. Building users, daily active wallets, daily GitHub activity. That's stuff to be looking at during this accumulation phase. And you use those data points to build your investments into what you feel like is a strong project. And again, you have to decide this for yourself. You got to learn how to use your own little thinker up there and, you know, pick your picks or, you know, or just willy-nilly pick it. Sometimes that works too. I'm not kidding. We're crypto. Man. We're gamblers a little bit. So
if you put $1 on all 15,000 coins from the last cycle, you would have
done well.
You would have done
well. I mean,
well.
maybe $10. Yeah. If you had that, you know, $10 on 15,000 coins, you know, that's attainable for some people. And
that's
I think
strategy.
Lot of wallets, man.
It's a lot of wallets and it's a lot of time to figure out how to do that. You got to track them all down, but they have run the numbers on that and you would have crushed it if you did that. I always think about what always makes me think of is like, it is kind of when you're in, and again, this is why when you're in this phase of the market, everybody's a genius. If you're in the markup phase, pull it up, BJ. This phase right here. If you're in that part of the market, you think you're hitting home runs. You think you're a genius. This is right around here is when everybody's talking about quitting their job because they're going to be a full-time trader. And then you realize, oh, I'm not really that good of a trader. I'm just in at the right trend. And I always makes me think of Davey Day Trader when Dave Portnoy was buying stocks. And he's just like, this is so easy. All you got to like, I'm just going to put it in a bag and the first 3 letters, pull out whatever that ticker is, I'm going to buy it. And it's like that is kind of what it's like when you're in this phase of the market. But you just got to know what phase you're in.
If you put a chip on every number in roulette, you're guaranteed to win.
Guaranteed to win. God. Yeah. It's easy math. Why doesn't everybody do this? Just print money. You know, and it's that's why it's and again, emotions get involved really strong. It's very when you're here, it's hard to know it until you've kind of gone through it before, and then you realize like, oh wait, I felt this way before. Like if you start looking up. Look, when people are looking up islands, when people are looking up, crazy stuff, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe, like, if you're talking about buying an airplane, I mean, I'm not kidding. We were talking, like, Crypto. I said, man, you can get an island here for this much. And I'm like, really? Jeez. You can get an island for that much? And it's underdeveloped? And it only takes this, like, we can maybe get it. No. And then, like, that's when you should probably
ETH for an island.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you should be selling all of your crypto and maybe taking some profit.
When Matt Damon shows up, that's
Matt
when
Damon.
you know you put in those sell orders, baby.
Fortune favors the
We're
brave.
all those nerds on LinkedIn talking about cryptocurrency.
Yeah, when you
all
see,
of a sudden,
yeah.
all the fair weather fans, you should know.
So anyway, all right. So during the market period, investors also see market corrections as buying opportunities rather than warning signs. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So somebody mentioned also like, hey, I came in at about 50K, and again, you buy at 50K. At 60K, at 70K, you're feeling great. You're crushing it. Pulls back to 50K. Like, oh, great. I'm going to buy. This is a great buying opportunity.
Exactly.
Pulls back to 40K. Oh, man, I'm going to buy at a lower price than I ever bought. Oh, pulls back to 25K, 30K, and then they start freaking out. And again, that's what starts to happen in the markup phase because the psychology really messes with you. All right.
Yes.
Now, this is an interesting one here, the distribution phase. This is kind of the distribution and the accumulation phase are kind of the harder ones to identify, in my opinion, because they're the transition phases, and it's when you kind of have some smart money and retail money in at the same time, and this is really where the money is made. If you know how to identify accumulation and distribution, then you just kind of ride out and have fun in the markup, and then you're chilling in the markdown. So a sustained upswing, some investors will begin to pivot and start selling. This is exactly what I was just talking about. When there's a really big uptrend, people start to sell, and it brings us into the distribution phase of the market when the demand and supply start to balance out, meaning there's as many sellers as there are buyers. The bears are starting to take control. Obviously, it's clear because we're in a downward trend. This is clearly bearish here, but really, that's the real bear market, and this is really the distribution phase. And it was fascinating because we were all talking about Wyckoff distribution during this phase of the market last time. We just, weren't really identifying it in this simple terms. And this is why I wanted to show it this way, because it's very easy. We all do it. We're finding things to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto every single day. We're going to keep it relevant and interesting, but because of that, we do tend to overcomplicate, overthink, and over strategize ourselves. And if you just keep it simple, stupid is a very, some of the most successful people I know are very high Q, but very simple minded, meaning they don't overthink it. They find a strategy that works and they just do it over and over. And hey, if it's working, why do I need to think about 3D chess, 6D chess, and, break it down that much? Like, look, and that's what's so funny. You see the guy that buys here. Like, I've known people literally that like they buy right in here and then they sell right at the top. And then they're just chilling. Like, yeah, I put in 20K at the bottom. I turned it into 200K. Like, I'm good. Yep. And then it's just like, and other people are like, what do you mean you made that much money and you're just going to walk away? He's like, yeah, it was easy. And
that's what you do.
That's how it works. So
thanks for playing.
And again, this part, like I said, is tough to identify. It's characterized by widespread panic as the market anticipates prolonged period of declining trends. However, there might have optimistic groups consisting of market players who are eager to continue buying in the hopes of the current bull market will continue. Again, these are usually new market participants, again, and the reason I'm pointing this out is YouTubers are the ones that are really pushing this stuff. Social media, TikTok people, again, they think they know it all. They don't have a ton of experience within the market yet. This can be us at sometimes. Again, we're extremely excited. It's extremely fun. People are buying stuff. You're having a good time. It's a lot more fun to be bullish than it is to be bearish. Yeah. But knowing these 4-year cycles, predicting these 4-year cycles, and taking action within these 4-year cycles, again, is how you time the market. It's how you change your life and get rich with crypto. So many people I know have done it, and that's why if people tell you it's a scam, if people tell you you can't make money, it's all, whatever, it's just not true. I know countless people that have become multimillionaires, at least millionaires, but a lot of them multimillionaires several times over, and have changed their entire generation, their entire family tree. Like, people laugh when when I put a title that says this is the time to build generational wealth in Bitcoin. It's not a joke. Like, you have an opportunity. You have the best opportunity of your entire life right now. Right now is the best opportunity of your life. And if you take action, you can capitalize. If you sit on the sidelines, you don't have a chance. And that's really what gets me with people is like, you can talk about things all day long. You can talk and talk and talk, but if you don't do something, if you don't take action, nothing's going to change. And that's what you have to do in order to change things. Conversely, sellers who are in the green are trying to secure a portion of their profits. This is us. This is you guys in the future. This is all the smart money. You're buying in 2023 because you know you're going to be selling in 24 and 25. Yes, you want to be part of this for the long haul. Yes, Bitcoin's going to change the world. You want to have Bitcoin in 10, 15, maybe 50, 100 years for your children. But you still need to take profits. Right. That's a part that people struggle with. When you see something and it makes money and you're very happy, it's the best investment you've ever made in your life. It's the best asset you've ever owned. It's hard to let go of it. It's hard to sell it. You know, and a lot of Bitcoiners would say, don't ever sell, just stack sats. Or
I felt like such an idiot following the time frame. Oh my God. I sold at $4,800 ETH and I was like, this is so stupid. Everyone's telling me 10K, but I still did it. I grinned it. I bought a car. And then that distribution phase, all my family comes in. They're like, how'd you do all this? You know, where is this going to keep going, right? I'm like, no, don't buy it right now unless you know how to trade.
It will keep going over 10 or 15 years.
It's going to keep going down is what's going to happen. And like, you know, Frankie had an amazing move during this last bear market. All his followers, his moves were really awesome to learn from and watch. So Frankie Candles is who I'd be paying attention to understand that distribution.
Absolutely. Check out Frankie Candles on YouTube. Manly Crypto says, I want my great-grandchildren to say that dude must have been awesome. Same thing. I want the same thing. I want my great-grandkids to be like, I have no idea why this guy bought all this land over here. It was the middle of nowhere for like 100 years, but we're sure glad he did. You know, that kind of stuff. And same with Bitcoin too, obviously. And one thing to keep in mind when it comes to this concept, you guys hear us another strategy we talk about a lot that it helps you de-risk is dollar cost averaging. The same applies for taking profit. You can dollar cost average in a bear market and dollar cost average out in a bull market. You don't have to nail the top and nail the bottom of these trends like we always talk about. Like if the price is going up and you're well in the profit, that's why we say, hey, take a little profits. And then, you know, hey, it goes up more, take a little bit more and take a little bit more. And we're very fortunate. We did a lot of profit taking on the way up. We acquired this building and real estate and a lot of other things that now we have in the bear market and we're not having to purchase them. It's reduced our operating expenses. It's helping us accumulate more. The bull market comes again. You take those profits, kind of to what Drew was saying. He was able to sell a 4,500 ETH. DZ told a story about him and BJ going to Vegas, and it's like you feel stupid. You're like, man, ETH's at $4,000. I'm gonna regret buying this. I'm gonna have less ETH than I wanted when it's at 8,000. Well, guess what? You just sold the top. You just didn't know it, you know, or sold very near the top, and you got the most you could out of that asset. And so don't be afraid to dollar cost average out just like you dollar cost average in. It's the exact same concept. If you have $10,000 and you're trying to get it in over a certain period of time, okay, I'm going to buy $1,000 a week to decrease, you know, to blend my entry. Okay, now I'm up to $200,000 worth of profit, and I want to say you're sitting at $200,000 in profit, and you want to get at least $100,000 of that out, but you're afraid of timing it. You don't know where the top is. You just say, you know what? I'm going to just take out $10,000 a week for the next, 20 weeks, and then boom, or 10 weeks if you're trying to get 100,000 out. It's simple. Again, keep it simple. Simplify it. Don't overthink it. My buddy Adam, who does some of this real estate stuff here with us, he does the same thing. He's like, you know what? You know, and again, if you're not going to be in it every single day, if you don't want to obsess over this, it can eat your mind up. It can be a lot. So if you want to just set it and forget it, that works really well for a lot of people. That's what he does. He buys Ethereum every single week, you know, and then he sells some when it's way in the profit. And it's just like, it's pretty simple. And he's not trying to put it all in and change everything in the year or 2 years. And that's another thing. Don't try to do it too fast. When people trying to get rich quick, that's when you usually get caught chasing, high yield leverage coins that go to zero. That's how a lot of people get in BitConnect and these cloud mining scams. And most people that get scammed think they're making a whole lot of money really fast. And that's what motivates them to pile in that FOMO and that emotion. And there's a lot of people out there that know how to take advantage of that. So again, keep it simple and don't rush yourself. You got more time. And I say this, but I can also attest that I went through it too. I bought all the way through 2018. I felt like, I bought in 2017, of course, and then I bought all the way to the top, all the way down to the bottom, feeling like I was missing my opportunity. And if I didn't make it happen now, if I didn't make it happen in 2019, I was never going to get another chance. You're going to get another chance, guys. Now's your chance right now. You should be taking action. You should be capitalizing on this. But if you don't, and if you see this video 2 years from now and the price of Bitcoin is $203,000,
Jesus.
don't worry. You're
Wait
gonna
till
have time.
2027.
Yeah.
What's that?
Wait till 2027. honestly.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
wait till
It's
2027.
gonna be a while. but
TJ,
it'll
what would be the opposite of don't catch a falling knife?
Don't
Like
chase
it-
pumps, basically.
Don't chase pumps.
Yeah.
we should come up with like a our phrase for that, right? Like don't
Be really
catch a
good at
falling
sleight
knife.
of hand.
You're really good at sleight. Well,
Like
you
the
know, it's like
magician thing where
don't
they put a knife in a bag and
Yeah.
don't try to sell the top, but we got to come up with some sort of alliteration.
Right.
there.
It's that FOMO feeling
Mhm,
of like, oh no, like again, somebody. That's what's so baffling to me is it's really reverse psychology. If you're a fan of sand and you see it pump 40%, you're like, oh no, I need to buy what I needed in sand right now, and it's like, no, it's gonna pull back. Just chill.
Yeah.
You know, it'll
Just
come
chill.
back to you. You know, be patient. Patience is a virtue. you
Don't
know,
try
as
to
they say.
ride the rocket ship on the wings.
What do you guys think will happen next bull run? I feel like there's going to be so many more people trading, like knowing that it's going up. Like, what do you think are going to be the repercussions of so many people trying to trade during the bull market?
I don't think it's going to be. They're going to all fall for narratives, in my opinion. Like the narratives take over people's mindsets very easily. People have a very short attention span, as we've learned, especially over the last few years.
Ali, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at chat.
Oh.
Yeah. Talking about
I don't see that. I don't think that the
I like chemistry bros. Don't grab a superhero's cape.
that's a good one.
Oh,
I like
okay.
it.
I like this workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work in slag tights, like on the top of
Stalactites.
caves.
Well, you know what they say.
Slag still or knives.
We learned from The Incredibles. You don't ever want a cape. Too many
Yeah.
accidents with capes. You know?
Sorry, Drew, I cut you off.
No,
Oh, it's
I
fine.
I agree with what Drew was saying too. It is interesting. That's a common theory. It's a very extremely asked question. I've heard it 2016, 17. You know, that was the theory that in 2020, like, they will start telling you that right here. When you get to right here in the mark, right before the halving, when they're saying it's priced in, that is the narrative that this time it's different because everybody knows the cycle now and the smart money's buying before the halving. So the halving isn't going to have the effect it did last time. I promise you, people will be telling you that right before the halving. They will say it's going to be different this time, just like they said at the top, just like people want to say at the top. It's going to be different this time. Institutional money's here or nation money, big money's here, smart money's here. It's not going to dump this time like it has in the past. Well,
Right.
that's not true. It's followed this cycle time in, time again, and until it does something different, we have to assume it's going to continue to do that. So I don't think, again, kind of like what Drew's saying, it's an opportunity for us here that know the cycles, and there are going to be more people that know the cycles now than in the past, but that's just going to fuel it, I think, to an even higher high. That's why I'm a big believer in the end of diminishing returns in the next cycle. We've seen diminishing returns on Bitcoin the last several years. I think that happened this year because institutions came in. They treated it like they treat every other asset.
Right.
They were hedging, they were longing, they were shorting, they were trying to manipulate the price, and they got wrecked. They were rehypothecating just like they do in the traditional markets. And then when the price dropped, just like it always does, they got caught with their pants down.
Exactly.
Insolvency.
Yep.
What did it do? It brought the price right back down to the levels it should have been according to the statistics and the things we've seen in the past. That's why we knew when
Price
the bottom
of
was
mining.
coming. And the timing came exactly when it was supposed to come. Like, nothing changed in the cycle of the timelines of the Bitcoin halving.
My stupid line from 2017's high literally just stayed on TradingView until we came back down there after FTX. I'm like, wow.
Oh,
look at
hey,
that.
there it is. It's right there. It worked out. And that's what's so amazing. You'll hear me say it, it's amazing how technical analysis and macro and micro and crypto and halving and on-chain, like you can use all of these different metrics and like all generally kind of, it's called confluence. You can use it for confirmation, but they all point to the same direction. They all, and it's the same thing. That's why we have so much conviction with what we're talking about right now. That's why I can say with 100% conviction that I feel like the price of Bitcoin is clearly going back to new all-time highs. Somebody told me, I put a poll up today of where the price will be in 24, 25, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't put it low. You didn't put 0 on there, TJ. So it's not a good poll." I'm like, I don't have to put 0 on there because I know it's not going to 0.
I mean, they could, the internet could go off, but then you have much bigger problems than your finances.
Yes,
if the
and
internet
it's
goes
even
off.
with the internet going off, it's still not going to 0. You can transfer Bitcoin over different networks. It doesn't just have to be over
You can use
the
a
internet.
radio.
Yeah, they can do it over radio waves. They're doing it with a lot of different things in other countries right now. Now, obviously, if we lose power in the internet, yeah, like Drew said, we're gonna have some major problems. Bitcoin price will fall dramatically. It's not gonna go to zero, but it will fall dramatically. Might be the best time to ever buy then. You know, but again, if you've ever seen some of those shows, no power equals.
Imagine that. I could barter chicken eggs for a whole Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're gonna be having a hard time getting drinking water. You're gonna be having a hard time doing a lot of things if there's no
water
power,
coin.
so.
I found a water spring on my land.
You're gonna be having a
No
hard
way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
I was just trying to
Was
find
it just
one
your
near
kid
us.
peeing?
No, I had it tested by.
Do you have
science.
water rights though?
Yes.
Oh, well,
There you go. Fun fact: Drew
Thank
potty
God.
trained all of his children before the age of 1. Yeah.
Well, no, 2 of them, the
Oh,
singular children before the age of 1, the twins 1 year 10 months.
10 months. Okay. So
Cloth diapers, everyone.
Before
Okay,
2,
first.
though.
Before
It's Still
2.
pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right.
Sorry.
I'm still not potty trained.
When I drink tequila, I'm no longer potty.
Okay.
That goes for a lot of people, I think.
Battletoads has a financial advice question.
Uh-oh.
Been putting been putting money into the stock market, investing in dividend stocks. Should I slow down and allocate more money into crypto?
Wait, you should think for yourself, bro. We're giving you all the information.
Yeah.
We can't tell you what to do because we don't know your investment thesis, your strategy. How old are you? What are you trying to do? You got kids? You don't have kids? Is it a 401k? You know, like
Yeah.
you can't just, you know. But I like crypto more than stocks.
So
I'll say
yes.
that.
I don't like watching grass grow, so I don't stay involved.
Here's the
with
thing: if you're
stocks.
like 62 and you're about to retire, don't take your money out right now. My God.
Right. If you bought Coke at really low and you're in really high and you're getting tons of dividends off of it, like just ride it out, you know?
Yeah.
Or do whatever you want is really the answer. Do what you think is the right thing to do for you and your family and your money. I'll say what I did, and I had a Roth IRA or a handful of stocks that I had, but I was I don't even know how old I was when I made the decision, 26 or something like that, and I was like, this hasn't done anything. And I started at like 16 or 18 and it didn't do anything for like 10 years. I thought I was doing good buying in 2009, thinking like, oh yeah, if I buy after this major financial collapse, like I'm going to be in great shape. And then it's like 10 years went by and I was like, wait, I made only a couple $1,000s. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't going to do much for me. But if I scale this out even another, 30, 40 years, it's not going to work out. So I sold it all and bought crypto and I'm very glad I did.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I think biotech is going to be a good grab in like 2028 when the technology is actually
AI
integrated, but
stocks are pretty much going to be like crypto, like in the next.
Just
bull
grabs.
run.
You just got to know what's going to disrupt technology, man. That's what it's all about. is
If you can buy
disruptive.
open AI stock, like my God, that's that's good.
Crypto
Yeah, but I
Tony
don't think
asks.
you can, right? It's a private company.
Microsoft
just bought it.
bought
Crypto
it.
Tony
Private
asks,
equity.
what is the best AI crypto projects?
Oof, I'm looking into
GIX.
that right now. There's a whole lot.
We
right now.
are very, very interested in what the next good ones are. It's undiscovered. We haven't really.
I'm not-
Singularity Net.
I'm not. Well,
Singularity.
Singularity's been around for a while. They're
Deep
great.
brain
I'm
shit.
not comfortable revealing any of my picks right now because I need to do.
They're all new.
research.
Here, I'll mute the mics. What are they?
Are they muted?
Yeah, they're muted. They're definitely muted. Like I didn't have to reach for the mute button.
TikTok. What's going on? Yeah. Good. Go TJ.
No,
Sorry.
I will say this when it comes to AI tokens, and this is kind of why I think they're hesitant to answer. Even it's safe in the basement. No opinions are too spicy here. But I will say this: I see AI stocks as an opportunity, just like gaming stuff was, or play to earn, metaverse type stuff was in the last cycle. Not in reality, but in speculation. I think they will pump purely on speculation, and I think they will dump really hard because I don't think they're going to necessarily be around. They're not. I don't think we're going to see the clear winners in this cycle. I think we might establish one or two. So there's a lot of opportunity. Pew, pew, pew. I love those. Those are fun.
We got rated
Hit
by
Network
Hit Network
Gaming
Gaming.
rated
Oh,
us.
Hit Network Gaming.
There's-
What the heck? Get joined. We raid you guys. I love it. Welcome in,
Welcome.
gamers.
But data throughput's going to be a thing for AI, right? That's
Yes.
why I'm
Yeah.
liking DAG. That's why I'm liking ICP. That's why I'm liking the HBAR project. I like high throughput data projects.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I will say those right now, but AI specific operators, not yet. I can't.
It was
pin that
interesting to me. I did see like Deep Brain Chain was one of the ones I talk about a lot that I got burned on the most because I loved the concept. Again, I was buying this in 2018, just got absolutely wrecked.
Yeah.
When it all came out, I could tell people just went and Googled AI coins and just market bought a handful of them and it pumped like 40%. I'm like, are they even doing anything anymore? Do they even exist? Is there any development going on there? Fine Player says, I heard marbles. I don't know. We don't have marbles on this channel, but welcome in. We love that you guys are here. And if you guys don't follow Hit Network Gaming, again, YouTube, Twitch, they do a lot of really fun stuff. They play mainstream games, obviously AAA games, some Metaverse games every once in a while. I think they're doing Metaverse. Wait, is it Metaverse Wednesdays? Doesn't make any sense, but they do something on Wednesdays. When it comes to Web3 Wednesday, that's what it is.
It's not Waifu Wednesdays.
No, Nick.
Dang it!
So I'm just trolling.
That was
the
a
shit out of
one-time
chat
thing
right now.
for him.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah, Hit Network Gaming, Joel, he does an awesome job, really funny. They have a great time. Also, Tristan and Steven involved with that as well. They really know their gaming stuff. There it is, Web3 Wednesdays. So speaking of, that's where we're kind of testing.
I think Waifu Wednesdays.
Alluvium is one of those ones I think could stick around and be actually pretty fun to play in the next cycle. And so, but like I said, we saw tons of play to earn stuff come out, like tons of token, like Axie was one of the strongest pumpers of the last cycle. Yeah. Don't necessarily think it's like a long-term investment that you want to be holding for years and years and years. And I feel the same way with some of these AI coins. They will pump hard on speculation, and then we'll see a lot of them fall off pretty hard in that the distribution phase. And in that distribution phase, you're going to be seeing a lot of people say, "Oh, it's here to stay. It's the best thing ever." Blah 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 blah. And it's those VCs, those private money, smart money, taking their chips off the table before the true markdown phase starts.
Yeah, that was the whole talk, man. We're gonna live in the metaverse and stay inside for an undisclosed amount of time. And you better figure out how to live life online. It's not true.
Incorrect.
And the same thing's gonna come for AI. They're gonna say the singularity is here, and robot dogs are gonna eat your children.
They call it the Gartner hype cycle.
Yeah.
That's what you should really get familiar with, because we are just on the upward swing of the Gartner hype cycle for AI, and we are on the back end of the Gartner hype cycle for not only electric vehicles, but self-driving vehicles. Everyone's figured out, self-driving vehicles, that's super duper hard. And I made a bet with Ben and Justin Williams and TJ about self-driving vehicles, and it was for $10,000. And so far, I'm going to win. But
and what was it again? It was something about within 10. No, I was like, I vaguely remember it was something like self-driving vehicles on the road by like 10 or 15 years, something like that.
In 10 years, we will not have food delivered by an autonomous vehicle. We will not have that.
I said we would, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was with Nick on that.
Yeah. So, and that was like last year we made that bet, right?
Yes.
Hospitality industry.
So we got 9 years left.
Yeah. I've been watching the hospitality industry.
I still
9 years
I
left
hold
on
that.
that
I still hold that.
I think in the same.
I'll hold you to that. I want that.
I watch the little Amazon delivery bots get stuck on the sidewalk all the time around Emory.
Yeah.
Really?
It's adorable. They just sit there and they're like ding 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 ding.
I mean, when I was talking about the
they're
Roomba,
very incentivized to solve that.
I didn't even know they had those.
That's a lot closer than you thought, isn't it?
All the money that they thought they were going to get in autonomous vehicles is all going to go to AI now. All the money is just going to be like a vacuum out of self-driving vehicles.
Well, I think those money into AI makes self-driving vehicles a lot more capable. Makes those robots a lot smarter. Teaches them how to step up over that curve.
I mean, we can get into this, bro. Like I've done the thinking. I've done the thinking.
No, we'll go. We'll do an episode on
we need an AI episode.
AI in the future, autonomy in the future. Because this is my thesis, just briefly on a lot of that stuff, and it's I always forget the name of the law or whatever, but it's, the computing power doubles and the cost halves or whatever. But it also, you need emerging technologies to be that glass ceiling breakthrough to enable other emerging technologies. So I think blockchain is really that glass ceiling breakthrough that's going to take AI to where it needs to go, because you're going to be able to have machine learning on a blockchain where it's learning at an insane rate and everybody can tap into it and you're not paying to train the machine. It also, you can do the same thing with autonomous, and like what Drew was saying with things like Constellation DAG. We're going to start applying this stuff to military applications and have these kind of hive mind, hive net type things with the intelligence, which then creates the opportunity for the autonomy. You got DAO as a breakthrough technology, and now you could literally have an autonomous vehicle that is its own DAO that operates itself it literally rolls off the production line, and it's its own LLC for the entire existence, where it's taking itself to get maintained. It's taking payments from drivers. It's doing its whole thing autonomously. And again, who knows? You're right. This could be further out. It could be further than 10 years out. A lot of this,
the new DoorDash.
That's a good one.
DAG's thing, and why I like DAG so much is it's machine to machine communication.
You're a DAG show.
Exactly.
I know. Well, dude, I mean,
all right, when you see those videos from Boston Dynamics of the thing like jumping around, throwing the toolbox or whatever. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my God. What they don't tell you is it took a month to shoot that.
Well, and what they don't tell you is it's all a pre-programmed routine. And
Yeah.
there's no, and this is, and I don't know this for sure, but I would like to, this is my first question is like, if you move that box, 5 inches to the right, can it still pick it up and do
5
that?
millimeters
Wait,
to the right.
who's
Yeah.
measuring the 5 inches, a man or a woman?
Hey, that's
no,
a
you're-
good.
Well,
that's-
Who built
you're
the-
gonna-
I would ask you who
Tinder.
builds
Tinder
the
should
robots?
measure it.
You're going to need a human cortex to run these systems
There should
correctly.
be a Tinder measuring tape.
You're going to need a human inside the mech warrior.
It comes
to
in
operate
two sizes: 6 foot 1 inch and 5 inches. Those has 2 measurements for Tinder.
Big Handstand said it's one and the same. Tesla has
course
said
Big
the
That's
Handstand.
what I
chat.
say. Of course we come from Big Hands Dan.
It's
There
one
it
and
is.
the
Not worried
same.
about who's measuring.
He said Tesla has said the chat GPT was created for autonomous driving.
Of course. It is. I mean, there's the
Yeah,
people
Yeah,
that
Tesla also said
It was
or
made to put software engineers out of work.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
made
say.
to do.
That's what I was going to say.
Elon also
exactly.
said he was a self-made man. It had nothing to do with his dad's blood diamonds.
Ooh.
That's a whole other topic.
You're bringing cobalt into the
Yeah.
Here we
conversation.
go.
All right.
Now we're getting into
All
the
right.
basement
South
here.
apartheid has entered the chat.
So that's it'll be. We could do a whole episode on that because it is a pretty interesting take. I do think they all kind of feed each other, and you don't have one without the other, and you do get kind of exponential returns as those start to take hold. Obviously, we've had a lot of progress in one area. Some breakthroughs in AI enable blockchain. Blockchain enables data storage, AI, interoperability, Internet of Things, yada yada yada. Because again, machine-to-machine communication, to Drew's point, has come a long way. And if we could have an interoperable ledger database place for them all to interact that also has ties to real-world economy and commerce, this is why digital payments have been so critical to be had outside of the government and state control, because government sucks at everything. So we need to put money and all of this stuff into the private sector and let free market capitalism do its
They're
job.
good at gaslighting.
Oh, that is true. They're good at
They're good at atrocities.
They're good at human control. I mean, that's their job. Management, government. They're good at survival. That's another thing to always remember. What is a government's primary function? It is to survive. That's
Why
it.
do they want to get rid of our gas stoves if they do like gaslighting?
Well, because it gives
they
them more
can't do it.
opportunity to gaslight.
No.
They don't have control of the little light.
They want it all
little
for
ticky
themselves.
things.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the next cycle here. We definitely got on a rabbit trail there.
No.
During
Uncle
this
TJ.
period, there may be a shift in the attitude from optimism to greed. And again, if you're trying to look at the top, this is when I'm talking about. When people are looking at islands, when people are buying watches, when everybody's got their new supercar and they're ready to buy 2 or 3 more, like. This is when we're moving from. You're not optimistic. You're just getting greedy. And my favorite phrase in investing came from an old mentor of mine. He said, "Pigs get fattened, hogs get slaughtered. You want to be a pig. You don't want to be a hog. And that's kind of to Drew's point. You're getting fattened up. You need to pull that stuff off the table. It's okay to be a pig, but when you start being greedy and you start to become a hog, you're going to get wrecked. And it's when you see again. You hear us talk about
Southern wisdom.
the Southern wisdom. That's right. Yeah. Fear and greed index. You see it ticking way up into the greed, way up into the extreme greed. That's when we're pretty much ready for a pullback. The end of the bull market. It can be identified with the weakness in price action, which leads to the distribution phase. When weakness is prices felt. That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
terrible.
No, it's when weakness is prices is found.
That's
When-
just
when
someone needs
Bitcoin
to be
moon-
fired.
It needs a few more is's in there.
Yeah.
Someone needs fired.
See, it's not me that can't read. It's some people
No,
just can't write.
that's pretty bad.
I can't read and they couldn't write. But new investors who want to protect their capital may start selling, which leads to more weakness, and then the downtrend begins. So here's what we just went through in 2022, and you can pick a variety of different reasons that happened. Some would say it's just that time of the market. That's what I would say. Others would say there's this reason, that reason. Again, overthink it for however many reasons you want. You can make your own list. But the markdown phase is the most dreaded period of investors because it signals the start of the bear market. This period begins as soon as supply exceeds demand during the last phase of the market. And again, it's all supply and demand economics. That's why the halving always kicks it off, because it cuts the supply. The demand has been there, and then boom, the prices start to go up. That creates the FOMO, the speculation, etc. And again, you can see, even though this is the true bear depths of the bear market here, this markdown phase, you've still had a pretty dramatic fall from the top down during the distribution phase. This is the main profit-taking phase, which is why it's okay if you don't nail the top. If you're taking profits, again, here on the way up and on the way down, then you're pretty much front-running that distribution phase. That means you're really smart money. As traders and investors become increasingly pessimistic about the future, this increased selling pressure, which can start chain reaction, causing asset prices to dip to levels not seen in the initial markup. Yada, 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 yada. I don't know if I need to explain this. We just lived it. That was it, guys. We just went through the markdown phase. It's when really scary things are happening. It's when you're having insolvencies, you're having pullbacks. Again, I always rather than trying to identify the bear market, because I feel like it's pretty easy. Like we were calling it for the entire year. We were saying, guys, no, we're bearish. The price is going down. We got to hit to the end of the midterm cycle. We got to see miners capitulate. Generally speaking, I like to see us retest the floor of the cost to produce a Bitcoin, because that's, in my mind, the true value of a Bitcoin. Just like the cost of gold generally is set by the cost it takes to get it out of the ground, it applies very similarly, supply and demand economics, to Bitcoin. The cost of mining a Bitcoin generally sets the floor. When we get below that, we see some miner capitulation. It goes into oversold. Bing, bing, bing. That's the number one time to be buying Bitcoin. Under 20K for me is that number. You can decide for yourself what that number is for you. I got most of mine in under those prices. Yep. I'm still okay to buy at 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm not really that picky about it. Just wait for a drawback, put some in. Like I said, I was thinking about doing some last night on the fear of this FOMC meeting. I think it's pretty locked in. We're going to see 25 basis points. Yep. If it sounds a little dovish, we could get a little bit of a pump out of that. If it sounds a little hawkish, we could, get a little bit more of a pullback and you buy a little bit more. So there you go. We just taught you how to get rich in crypto and change your life forever. So,
I have a question from Urkelson. How does the panel feel about economic downturn, but because of Bitcoin's cycle timing, Bitcoin massively outperforms and causes more money to flow to the best performing asset?
Well, I think we had our economic downturn already.
Yep, I do too.
I think you're going to be seeing a resurgence in economic activity on a global scale. The world has already been trained to expect conventional warfare for an unexplained amount of time now. So, big ugly headlines really aren't going to do much to the financial sector other than an ice skating rink being created. So I don't think that in the next few years we're going to see some kind of black swan like everyone thinks is going to come. I think that we've already experienced it. I think our GDP hit levels not seen since the Civil War in the last few years. And so now we're going to see this system be basically propped up and pushed down the road. Janet Yellen's ready to turn it on. She's just waiting for things to calm out and, the end of the year to come, and these treasury buybacks will happen.
A little earthquake to happen, and her to fall on the button.
Election.
Yeah. Exactly.
Voting, nothing's going to be bad when they don't want anything down when you're going to the ballot box. I can promise you that.
That money printer, as soon as Joe Biden starts his bid for re-election, they're going to go burp, and that mother is going to go on.
Yeah.
Go.
You guys think he will do that?
Oh,
think he will try to get reelected?
He's going to make a bid. I don't think he's going to make it to the polls.
Does it smell facetious over by
He's gonna motorboat the Fed so hard.
Yeah.
Well, he can't. I was gonna.
That's all right.
It was a Nancy Pelosi motorboat.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants that image.
I
in
wanted
their
to
mind.
avoid it.
She's no longer in politics. She's a normie now.
I don't
She's
want
one of us.
Yeah, I don't want to take us down the political. You guys know how I feel about politics.
Yeah, let's not do it.
But one thing I do want to wrap this up pretty quick because we got a little bit of time.
BJ, no.
Yeah, stop.
No,
somebody.
BJ.
This
We're
is,
live on TikTok.
So that person on YouTube out there that told me to take BJ off his leash. This is why. This is why. Like I said, I said you're a brave person and you really don't know what you're asking for when you say that. So, we will one day, but not on this stream. Not on this stream today.
Not on this channel.
Probably had to be on a whole new platform.
BJ. He's great for the show. He's great for everything he does.
But
Steamer.
Anyway, because I slide it in.
Yeah. So I should have started with this because we do have this FOMC meeting news today. I agree. It's another great account for you traders out there. Altcoin Psycho on Twitter. In my opinion, today's market was de-risking for FOMC. This is yesterday. He was talking about. Gives a few hints for trading the FOMC. Markets will likely overreact regardless of the direction. 50 basis points, extremely unlikely, I would have said there. Obviously, you would short that. 25 basis points with dovish guidance is probably a good long. And this is the kind of area where we don't know. We know it's going to be 25 basis points. We just don't know if his comments are going to be lean mixed or dovish. I don't think they're going to lean extremely hawkish at this point. So my guess is mixed on this. He's not going to really give real clear indicators, which again will give us kind of a neutral reaction there. So something to keep your eye on with that.
Legitimate question. So say he's dovish, but the military industrial complex is hawkish. How do you think that goes?
I'll let Drew
Huge,
take
huge GDP print.
Yeah, I mean,
Huge.
and they are all that's a separate market from what we get in the retail market. We don't get exposure to
No.
what
Mhm.
the
But I
industrial
feel like they're going to happen at
complex
similar
does.
times, and then you're going to end up with those macroeconomic trends that develop because of those.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment, but I think that the 600, 700 billion per year
Bobby,
spending
no.
on military is going to continue regardless of what's going on the other side because chips cost money. SpaceX.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with that. And I did want to I did want to show this because I'm not gonna. Not this was good too, but I had a lot more stuff. But that was a great conversation.
Wait, hold on. Was that Frank's uncle?
No, I told you guys to show this in the thing tomorrow when Frankie Candle's on
wow.
here. Who recognizes those legs? Do you know who that
Is
is?
that Caitlyn
Nick?
Jenner?
No, Nick.
That's somebody who has really bad edema and drinks. Look at those cankles.
It might be the socks.
I mean, obviously, is some sort of relation to Frankie Candles. Although it could be Tim Shedd.
No.
I'm gonna guess Elliot Galloway.
Come on,
It's
guys.
not
This
that.
is a very famous picture. I was curious if any of you guys would
Very
know this.
famous picture.
I have no idea. Who
This is I want you to do the poll tomorrow. You think running Bitcoin. You know who it is now?
No.
Very famous tweet.
Nope.
nothing.
Guys.
I'm sorry.
I'm
You
not
guys need to
tuning
learn
in
your
tomorrow.
Bitcoin history. It's Hal
We're
Finney.
babies.
Hal Finney.
Oh, it's Hal.
You
Oh
should,
my
yeah, this is a
God.
very famous photo.
Okay.
He's got
He
tree
was a big
trunks for
runner,
legs.
right?
He was
He
a very
does.
he was a big runner. And he obviously right. Yeah, see, chat knows the Zeus. You got it. It's Hal.
Caitlyn Jenner.
So I save that.
Wait,
Drew,
how Finney is Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah, it's going off the board. Drew's going to be hosting with you guys
Yes.
tomorrow. I want you to show that when Frankie Candles is
I
on, because obviously we love making calf jokes with him.
I'll make him show him
But yeah,
off.
I want to see who else knows. So ask everybody. Do the same thing tomorrow with everybody else that's
Calf
on the
I'll
show.
get like a
No
calf
no
cam.
spoilers. And I do want to wrap it up with this. I feel like this is a pretty good conclusion. Taking advantage of the crypto market. We just taught you guys how to become millionaires. So if you're not all millionaires in 4 years, I don't want to hear any excuses or 2 to 3 years.
Because you bought that Honda Accord.
Yeah, it's because your car payment's too high, and we told you how to fix that too. So let's admit it, cryptocurrency has unimaginable potential for its underlying technology. However, it's still in its infancy stage, despite the fact that the market cycles are very straightforward to comprehend. There are several layers or factors to the story which further complicate assessing the present state of the market in relation to the crypto. So that is very true, but that's what I want you to do is keep it simple. Like they just said, the cycles are very straightforward to comprehend. Do not overcomplicate it for yourself. If you keep it simple, it's not that complicated. There's, just like it says, there's a lot of other factors. There's a lot of other metrics. We talk about them a lot. We talk about on-chain and technical and, development and all these different things to look at. And those are all great when you're assessing different projects. That's great for you to take all that research in and do consideration. It's fun. We're all obsessed with it here. I get it. But, just taking a step back and being like, you know what? Why am I overthinking it? I'm just going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. I'm going to sell it later. And then you might end up being a lot happier. Who knows? So anyway, I just wanted to leave you guys with that. We love you all so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. Bobby Dials, Urkelson, Dude, What's My Name, Crypto Rest, Juggy. Welcome back 2 days in a row. I appreciate you having you back in here. Poohin78 Div, Covert Fours, Booger. That's... Yeah. I guess we can say it. Booger Pecker, I be Mike King, the Zeus, Ralphie,
There it is.
well endowed. We love you guys in the chat
Well
with all these names.
endowed.
Randall Scott,
Red Robles.
Battletoads, Urkelson, Big Hands, Dan, Chemistry Bro, Manly Crypto, Jen Jones. I've already said those.
And we're rating the dent.
AC Hedera. Are we rating who?
The dent.
Perfect. We'll go
Yeah.
right from that to the dent. So let's go.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
Have a
We love
great
you
day.
all.
Top.